We like to imagine love as a bolt from the blue, a spark that defies logic, arriving without warning. But what if the magnetic pull between two souls isn't as random as it feels? Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist who mapped the hidden landscapes of the human psyche, believed love is anything but accidental. Beneath the surface of every attraction, every heartbeat skipped, lies a hidden order, an inner logic shaped by forces far older and wiser than our conscious minds. Jung once wrote, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. This transformation begins long before we recognize it. When someone falls in love with you, it's rarely about the persona you present to the world, your charm, your wit, your achievements. It's about something far more primal, something archetypal. You become a mirror, a vessel, a living symbol of what another soul needs to confront, heal, or awaken within itself. Consider this. A person who has spent a lifetime clinging to order and control might find themselves inexplicably drawn to someone wild and untamed. The attraction feels electric, almost fated. But Jung would argue this isn't mere fascination with the opposite. It's the unconscious crying out for balance. The reserved soul isn't falling for chaos. They're falling for the part of themselves they've buried, the spontaneity they've labeled dangerous or unacceptable. Likewise, the free spirit might ache for the stability they've dismissed as boring, not realizing their longing is a call to integrate discipline into their own fragmented psyche. This is the dance of projection, the invisible force Jung called the hook on which we hang our unlived lives. We project onto others the qualities we've exiled within ourselves, our repressed creativity, our denied vulnerability, our unacknowledged shadows. When someone seems to embody these disowned fragments, the pull is irresistible. It feels like love, but it's really recognition, a desperate grasp at wholeness. As Jung warned, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. The very traits we adore or despise in another are signposts pointing to our own unmet needs and unhealed wounds. But projection is only the first layer. Jung's work reveals something even more profound: the role of archetypes, the primordial blueprints of the human experience. Every man carries within him an unconscious image of the feminine, the anima, shaped by his mother, his culture, and the collective myths of womanhood. Every woman holds an internalized masculine, the animus, forged through her father, societal expectations, and ancient stories of heroes and kings. These archetypes aren't static. They evolve, hidden in the depths, until one day, a glance, a laugh, a shared silence, and another soul seems to align perfectly with that inner template. This is why certain connections feel eerily familiar, as if you've known the person across lifetimes. It's not past lives you're remembering, it's the resonance of their essence with your archetypal code. A man raised by a critical mother might fall for women who mirror her sharp intellect, not because he likes criticism, but because his anima, his inner feminine, is entangled with the voice that shaped him. A woman whose father was emotionally distant might chase partners who feel just out of reach, not because she enjoys longing, but because her animus, her inner masculine, is patterned on absence. Yet here lies the rub. No human can fulfill an archetype indefinitely. The moment your humanity disrupts their myth, the day you're tired instead of radiant, uncertain instead of heroic, the illusion cracks. What felt like destiny becomes dissonance. Jung observed this harsh truth. All the gods have gone, the old ones and the new ones both. We are the only gods left, and we have to become conscious of it. The gods here are the projections we place on others, the divine roles we beg them to play. When they stumble under the weight of our expectations, love curdles into confusion. But this collision isn't failure, it's initiation. Every shattered projection is an invitation to dig deeper, to ask, what part of myself did I outsource to this person? What buried aspect of my soul does their presence force me to reclaim? The lover who once seemed perfect isn't failing you. They're revealing where your psyche is ready to grow. The friction isn't a sign to walk away, but to wake up. This brings us to Jung's radical view of love as alchemy. Relationships aren't about finding completion in another, but about using the heat of connection to transmute our own leaden shadows into gold. The partner who triggers your jealousy isn't making you jealous. They're holding up a mirror to your own insecurity, your fear of inadequacy. The one who seems emotionally unavailable isn't withholding love. They're reflecting your own resistance to vulnerability. As Jung put it, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Every relationship is a classroom where the curriculum is your unconscious. But how do we move beyond projection? How do we love and be loved for who we truly are, not the myths we represent? It starts with ruthless self-awareness. When you feel that gravitational pull towards someone, pause. Ask, am I seeing them? Or am I seeing my own unmet longing? Does this person feel like home, or like a salve for wounds I've refused to tend? This isn't to dismiss the magic of connection, but to deepen it. The most profound loves are those where two people consent to be mirrors, not saviors, where they help each other reclaim disowned parts of the self, then celebrate as the other grows beyond the reflection. Jung's wisdom echoes here. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Awakening in love means recognizing that the traits we most admire or recoil from in others are fragments of our own psyche begging for integration. The partner who embodies courage is showing you the bravery you've yet to claim. The one who radiates joy is reflecting the delight you've abandoned in your pursuit of practicality. Even the lover who leaves teaches you about your relationship with loss, with impermanence, with the parts of yourself that fear being unworthy. The moment a projection shatters is where true love begins, or ends. It's a crossroads few navigate with grace. When the idealized image fades and the human being behind the archetype emerges, relationships either dissolve into resentment or deepen into something real. Jung understood this intimately. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. The friction of disillusionment isn't a flaw in love's design. It's the fire that forges consciousness. Every argument, every disappointment, every bewildering mismatch between fantasy and reality is an invitation to look inward, to ask, what part of my story have I handed over to this person? What ancient script am I still trying to act out? Consider the lover who once seemed invincible, whose confidence lit up every room. Over time, you notice their quiet insecurities, their moments of doubt. The hero becomes human. This isn't betrayal, it's liberation. The pedestal was never meant to hold weight. It was meant to collapse so you could meet each other eye to eye. Jung reminds us, the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. Yet acceptance is the only ground where authentic connection grows. When we stop demanding others play roles in our inner drama, we create space for them to exist as they are, and in turn, we glimpse who we might become. This is the paradox of love. The more we release others from the burden of our projections, the more they surprise us. The partner you once saw as a stabilizer might reveal a wild, untamed creativity. The one you labeled the free spirit might harbor depths of wisdom and stillness. These revelations aren't random. They're clues to parts of yourself you've yet to explore. Every relationship becomes a collaborative excavation, a joint dive into the underworld of the psyche where buried treasures and terrors await. Jung's concept of synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that defy logic, offers a lens for understanding why certain people arrive at pivotal moments. A stranger's comment sparks a revelation. A chance meeting alters your life's trajectory. A breakup, though agonizing, unlocks a creativity you'd stifled for years. These aren't accidents. They're the unconscious orchestrating encounters that force evolution. Until you make the unconscious conscious, Jung warns, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. The lover who leaves you shattered. They might be the universe's blunt instrument, breaking you open so light can flood the cracks. Yet many cling to the wreckage of failed relationships, mourning not the person but the symbol they represented. The artist who yearns for a muse doesn't truly want the human. They crave permission to unleash their own creativity. The healer chasing wounded souls isn't seeking partners. They're avoiding their own unhealed pain. This is the shadow side of archetypal attraction, using others as proxies for the work we refuse to do. Jung's insight cuts deep. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Until we befriend our own shadows, we'll mistake codependency for intimacy, rescue missions for love. But there's a sacred shift that occurs when projection transforms into partnership. Imagine two people standing not as saviors or symbols, but as fellow travelers, each holding a lantern to light the other's path. They don't complete each other, they challenge each other. They reflect back not fantasies, but truths. A glance says, I see your fear and I'm still here. A touch whispers, your shadows don't scare me, I've danced with my own. This is love beyond the archetype, a conscious choice to walk together through the labyrinth of the self. Jungian analyst Marion Woodman once wrote, love is the soul's oxygen. Yet so many suffocate in relationships that demand they shrink, conform, or perform. The remedy lies in what Jung called individuation, the lifelong process of integrating opposites, of becoming whole. A relationship rooted in individuation doesn't seek to erase your contradictions, it revels in them. Your chaos and order, your strength and fragility, your logic and intuition, all are welcomed as essential threads in the tapestry. Here, love becomes a sanctuary where you're neither perfected nor polished, but seen. This journey demands courage. It asks you to confront the parts of yourself you've exiled, the needy child, the jealous lover, the arrogant critic, and invite them back into the fold. Every time you project less and presence more, you dilute the old patterns. The partner who once triggered your rage now becomes a mirror for your unexpressed boundaries. The one who made you feel insecure reflects back your own unclaimed worth. Even solitude transforms. You no longer fear being alone because you've met the richest companion, yourself. In the end, Jung's vision of love is a homecoming, not to another person, but to the self. The faces we love across a lifetime are mirrors, each polishing a different facet of our diamond soul. Some stay for decades, others for mere moments, but each leaves a fingerprint on our becoming. As Jung poignantly observed, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And perhaps that's the final answer to why people fall in love with you. Because in your presence, they glimpse a reflection of who they're destined to be. Not perfect, but whole. Not a fantasy, but a human, radiantly alive.